Danger DIY in this video.
Today we're going to tackle a DIY project of replacing a pool pump. And so during the Texas winter storm, the pool pump that was on there before ended up blowing out and freezing and cracking, and so it needs to be replaced. I'm going to go over the wiring and also the physical installation of it, and see whether or not it's a good replacement for the Pentair 2 horsepower pump. So this is a 2 horsepower pump. Let's go ahead and get to the unboxing.
The pump runs at 220 or 110 volts, and for my installation I'll need to change it to 220. Running on higher voltage uses lower amps, which runs the pump a little cooler. The pump comes with 2 connectors for existing pool plumbing to connect to the pump. The one on the back is the intake, and the one on the top is the outflow. The pump comes with a filter basket to catch debris or leaves. Let's change the voltage and remove the 110 volt cord.
So the 220 volt switch is here. I'm just going to take off these 2 screws. And just move that over to 220. You don't have to take it all the way off. And just put it right back on when you're done. Now obviously this has a 110 volt cord on it. As you can see, that's not going to work for us, so we're going to need to take that off. And so to do that, we're going to remove these screws here to get to the back. And it'll just come right off like that. Now this other piece down here is still connected for the 240 volt thing. But as you can see here, all we need to do is trace these wires back to where they go and replace these connections. And so as you can see, one goes up right here from this cord, and the other one goes right below it. So these 2 are the connections that you're going to need to replace. Now, you'd be like, well, where does the 240 go? Well, it goes right here. So it's the same lines. And so it's just going to be 110 volt and 110 volt instead of 110 in neutral. And so that's the way that's going to work. The ground wire is still going to connect right here where you can see.
Whether the wires are 110 volts or 220 volts, the wires go to the same location. For my install, I'm using 220 volts, so this power cord isn't going to work for me. So I'm going to remove it, as I'm going to be installing my wire in flexible conduit. Here I'm removing the ground wire nut, and then I'm using needle nose pliers to pull off the 2 AC wire connectors.
Let's cover a couple more things real quick. This is a 1.5 inch opening here, and so that is going to need to be something that you have a 1.5 inch pipe going to for the coupler. So when you do this pipe right here requires a 1.5 inch joint. And so we'll go down to the pool, and I won't cover the cementing of the PVC. It's pretty straightforward. We'll just go down to the pool. I'll get this all installed, and we'll go from there.
Working on electricity is dangerous, and not disconnecting power before working on electrical wiring could lead to serious injury or death. Disconnect all power from the lines and double check to make sure they are off with a multimeter. If you are unsure about working with electricity, hire a licensed electrician to complete this wiring DIY job for you.
So for moment of truth, I've got everything hooked up, wiring done. So what I did is I just ran this conduit through here and then ran that back to a box right here on the wall. So that's just a run that goes all the way through there and in there, and wired just like I showed you all in the video. Now I didn't hook up the ground to the bounding equipment for the pool. You should do that. I just didn't. None of my other stuff is bonded here, and it was all hooked up by electricians previously, so I didn't do that. As you can hear, the pool's running really quietly, and we're running on the pump here about under 10 psi, so it's running very well as far as that's concerned. Now, a long time ago I upgraded using this flexible PVC pipe. It has a few things about it nuanced that you'll want to do, like making sure that it's well bonded before you try to work with anything else, but it works really, really well. As I mentioned, these are 1.5, so I had to use some union joints to bring it down to 1.5, but everything, as you can see, is working really well. There's no leaks. It's all working good. I used a little bit of Teflon tape under each of these to finish that up, and it's good to go. That should be it for the motor install. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on them, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. So as you can see, after not having the pool pump running for a few days, it looks pretty bad, but hopefully the new pump, which is working really well, will get this water cleaned up, and everything will be back to normal in no time regarding the pristine look of the pool. And so I better go grab a brush and start brushing the sides of the pool, and let's get this thing cleaned up and ready for summer.
Danger DIY. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications.